Didn't get a chance to talk.
Andrew Jones.
Yeah, oh, sorry. Andrew Jones, Tar Heel 24/7. I didn't get a chance to talk to you the other day after the blue-white game, and I thought some of your comments were really interesting about your take on the play in the game and how long it's taking, how it'll take you guys a while to get fully comfortable. What is your gauge on the guys coming together and becoming a fully synchronized unit on the court? Because it seems like off the court you guys have everything in place there.
We're all extremely talented players, so I feel like it takes just some time to mesh everybody to understand their role and what it takes to win. So I definitely believe it'll take time, and during the season I feel like it'll happen more quickly since we're able to play against competition and other teams. But I just feel like it's always going to take time. It's always going to be a journey, and it's a day-by-day thing. So I can't put like a timetable on when I feel like we'll mesh, but I feel like every day we get better and better as a group.
How discernible is that? When you say you feel like you get better every day, is there something when you leave practice, you're like, okay, we're a little bit better at this aspect of something, maybe communicating on the court or something else?
For me, it's just chemistry. So, like me and Henry, we play a lot together with the high-low game and dribble drive into a lob or something like that. So we talk on the court and we're like, okay, this time I'm going to dribble to the left. Next time the big steps up, I'm throwing the lob. Just be ready for it. And eventually, during the game, during games we'll play later this year, that's going to happen. And throughout practices, we've gotten better at it. Like when I first did it, he didn't know it and he didn't expect it because he didn't know I could pass the ball as well as I can. But now that we're able to talk and communicate, it's able to happen more often and not result in a turnover.
Jeremiah Holloway with Inside Carolina. I actually wanted to ask you a little bit about that, about the passing. A couple of your teammates said that they didn't realize the passer that you were, before they started playing with you. Is that something for you that you feel like you've kind of always had a natural feel for, as far as just being able to kind of distribute and play make for others?
For sure. I've played a lot of sports that require throwing. Growing up, I played baseball. I was a shortstop. I played pitcher. I played first. And then football, I played quarterback. So giving the ball and distributing has always been a part of what I've done in my entire life. I always feel like I've been a capable and good passer, but I feel like the more I've learned, the more I've been able to understand basketball, not just who's guarding me, but who's around me. It's been easier for me to make good decisions.
And to go off that a little bit, kind of thinking about that being part of your skill set, you kind of feel in your mind, I know obviously basketball is a lot different now, people consider it positionless, but do you feel like your game kind of falls into a certain position, like you feel like you're more of a forward, more of a wing guy? Like, how do you kind of see how your game slots in?
I feel like basketball is kind of positionless at this point, and especially the way I'm used in our system. I don't want to say I'm a 4 or a 3 because, I feel like I do so much. I feel like in whatever case needed to be, I'm going to be able to do what it takes. If I'm needed to just rebound the basketball, that's what I'll do. But I think I pass the ball just like a guard. I think I rebound like a 4 or 5. And I think I'm athletic as a 3, a 2 or a 1. So I don't understand, the putting people in positions. I just feel like, you just play what's needed to happen. And basketball to me is a sport that's not predictable. It's not like football where if you're a running back, this is all you're doing. I get a rebound and I push like a guard would. So it's hard to box myself in.
Caleb, Brendan Marks from The Athletic. You mentioned your relationship with Henry on the offensive side. Defensively, a lot of potential there. What has that fit been like? And overall, how would you assess the way this team's defense is coming along? Hubert's best season has been when he had a top end.
I feel like our defense is coming along a lot. Coach Sully has pushed me to be the best defender in the country. I feel like whenever someone talks about me, that's the first thing they talk about is my defense, and I accept it and I like it. It's a translatable skill, and but I feel like our defense is definitely coming along. We have great guard defenders. My man Derek, he's 6'5" guard, so we have size up and down the lineup defending. Seth is a great defender, and Jaron's a great defender, and me and him are both switchable, so we could switch on and off the ball. And I feel like with Henry and me, we're like the Twin Towers in there. We're both gonna jump as high as we can and contest. As long as we stay out of foul trouble, it'll be really hard to score in there. And we're both physical, and I feel like it's just gonna be a great defensive year, honestly.
You mentioned being switchable. If I could just follow up, what is your level of comfort switching out onto, say, guards or point guards or things? Again, you mentioned your athleticism. Is that something that you would be up for if you were asked you to do it?
I'm up for it. I mean, I feel like if you follow my basketball journey, switching is something that's going to make me look really good. I like to guard guards because I feel like every guard, when they feel like they got it big on them, they try to dance and stuff like that, and I just end up taking it or making them shoot a bad shot because it's kind of like egoing them into making a move. So I love playing defense. I love switching. So I definitely feel comfortable with it, to answer your question.
Caleb, Noah Weisskopf, Tar Heel 24/7. We've been around you a little bit. Your confidence obviously is something that sticks out. Where does that confidence come from? Have you always been like that since playing sports as a kid, and just sort of how did you develop that?
I feel like confidence is, first of all, you got to work to get it. I feel like you can't, someone can't give that to you. So, I mean, I've never worked this hard in my entire life. Like this past summer, like I was working out at 10 p.m. at night by myself and doing a bunch of different things that I felt like separated me from everybody else in the country. So I feel like my confidence really came just this summer and knowing that I'm working so hard and doing things that aren't normal, and I feel like it's all just it's all for myself.
I'm curious, what are some of the moments the past, I guess, couple months that you really cherish off the court with your teammates? What are some of the things that you guys have done that you really look back to and say, wow, this is really a blast, or anything like that?
Definitely our Outer Banks trip. We had a lot of fun. I was able to get to know what my guys do off the court, you know, and here, like, we don't live together, so spending that 1 or 2 nights in the house together was really fun, you know, playing games, going to the pool, going out to the beach. It was just really nice to meet and know the guys that I was going to be playing basketball with. So I would say definitely that was one of the biggest things.
Any hobbies that your teammates have that you didn't expect them to have?
Jaron plays on his phone all the time. Like, he plays Clash of Clans. I think that's the game. And yeah, but Derek, we listen to country music all the time. Derek put me on the country music, so we love Zach Bryan. We love Tyler Childers. Listen to that music all the time. We were riding together, so that's something else I say is cool.
You good, Aaron? Adam Smith with Inside Carolina. Sort of along those lines, like, how do you sort of balance? I mean, you seem like a fun guy, tons of personality. Like, how do you balance that side of it with the work, like you're talking about, like at 10 p.m.? Like, I think Derek told us that you guys were in here at like 6, 7 in the morning before orientation, getting shots up. Like, I mean, I think people see the character that you are, but what's the work side of it that people maybe don't see right now?
Just it kind of comes from my dad. My dad's always told me, like, it has to be a balance, like you're saying. I love to have fun off the court, but that's not why I'm here. I'm here to make myself a legend here and win a bunch of games. So I didn't commit to Carolina to come here and go to karaoke night. So yeah, I came here to be a great basketball player. So I do things that are kind of freeing mentally off the court because, you know, I feel like it definitely is important for you to have a mental balance. You can't put all your mental cards in one deck. So I try to do things that kind of take my mind off basketball, but it's hard for me to do it. But it's good for me because, you know, the ball is going to stop bouncing one day. You want to have certain stuff that you can fall back on. But I love basketball, and I love the grind. I love seeing myself get better. So that's really where that comes from.
Just to follow up real quick, what word, you said working out at 10 o'clock, doing things to separate yourself. What are some of those things you think that would separate yourself, some of the work that you put in?
I would definitely say running. I feel like being in the best shape is definitely going to be important, you know, playing as many minutes as I hope to play. And also, like, I do work out a lot, but I also took time to, like, stretch and stuff like that because I want to stay healthy as long as I can. And I just did a lot of things that I hadn't done before, which is why I'm more confident than I've ever been, because in high school I wasn't stretching after workout, or I was working out early in the morning, but, like, I wasn't working out 3 times a day, and practice definitely was not as hard as it is here. So it's just a lot of stuff I'm doing different.
Hey, Caleb, R.L. Bynum with Tar Heel Tribune. You seem to have high energy on the court and off the court with your personality. I think Coach Davis said if you ran for student body president, you'd probably win.
Yeah.
Tell me about how your personality is shown on campus, and would you be able to be more of a leader than most freshmen would be because of your personality?
So throughout campus, I just try to make sure I speak to everyone because it's always a feeling of uneasiness when you're around a basketball player because, you know, people think that don't even want to say not human, but like that we think we're better than them. So I always try to make everyone feel like, you know, I'm personable. Like you can talk to me. I even said it in my introduction interview that we posted on social media. Like if you want a picture, if you want to talk, I'm not going to shun you away. I just talk to everybody, make sure everybody feels incorporated with what we do. I have tons of friends that don't play sports just because, you know, we have some of the same things we do off the court. But as a leader, as a freshman, like I talk all the time. I talk constantly. I walk in the locker room. I make sure I speak to everybody. I just feel like I just try to incorporate everybody in everything we have to do. And on the court, I'm going to play as hard as I can and try to lead with action before I lead with my voice because, you know, actions speak louder than words every time.
Would you call out a teammate?
Yeah, I would call out a teammate, but it's just I feel like as long as it's like a relationship where they feel the same way, that they can do the same thing to me, it's always good. I just don't want to be like a one-sided leader, if you feel me.
Rod Baxley, Fayetteville Observer. Looking at this freshman class across the country, really good group.
Mm-hmm.
What separates you from the rest of the guys in your class?
I would say work ethic and just the ability to do whatever it takes to win. I feel like I feel like I know when I need to be selfish. I know when I need to attack the rim and do what I have to do to win, but I'm also not pressing to do any of that. I'm pressing to win. So I'll just say just the pressure mentally for myself to do what it takes to win.
You touched on a little bit with the defensive side of that. Where did you kind of pick that up to where you're more advanced than some freshmen may be when they come in as a defender?
I watch film, and I watch defenders often. I watch Marcus Smart a lot, Tony Allen, and I watch videos of them saying like little things that they would do or look for when they're playing a player to help me like determine when they could steal the ball. Like as simple as like when somebody's dribbling the ball, you never want to swipe down, you want to swipe up so the ref can see that you didn't hit an arm. And the ball goes up, which gives you an advantage because I'm tall. I could just jump up and get it. Or how whenever somebody passes the ball from the top of the key, I do it all the time. They usually bring it down to their chest because they feel comfortable with it there instead of passing it over their head. So it's a lot of things, like small things that I look at and I determine through film that allow me to make smart decisions without fouling on the court.
You mentioned earlier, sorry, she'll respond with the end. No, you mentioned earlier some of the things that you do for maybe mental balance outside of basketball. I was wondering if you could elaborate and give us some examples of that.
I build Legos. I listen to a bunch of music. What else do? I play the video game a lot. I read. I read like a bunch of stoicism. I feel like it's beneficial to your mental health. You know, I feel like it kind of makes me approach the days differently than I used to before. Something else that I did differently when I got here. And I just sleep too. I sleep. Like whenever I get a chance, I sleep. A 30-minute nap, I'm taking it. I do a lot of stuff differently than I did last year. So, yeah.
Okay, following up the stoicism thing, when did that start? And I guess what have you taken from that?
That started actually. So I took a class my senior year of high school in the second semester, and we were learning about like ancient history, which is like my favorite subject, and we were learning about philosophers and things that they had to like offer, and I learned about like Aristotle and just how to approach your day, like how you can't control what other people think or you can't control other people's actions, and I kind of like it really like influenced me then, and then I got like more into it. And then I would learn stuff about like how to interact with people, how to make people feel incorporated with each other, like incorporated with you and stuff like that. So it's just a lot of stuff I learned from it. And I read a book called The Daily Stoic every day before I leave. It's like a quote every morning. It's great.
What was the quote this morning?
I don't remember, actually. I don't remember. It's been like a busy day. It's been a busy day.
We'll be putting these in the game notes.
You should.
Hey Caleb, Grant Stats Editorials on SI. You know, Henry mentioned a lot about how Sean May has helped him with offensive rebounding. What ways has Sean helped you kind of develop your game on the offensive glass and also the defensive side of the glass?
Offensively, like he's done a lot for me because this isn't like my first time in my life in a long time where I've been like had to do something specifically. Like my job every time down the court is to do a specific thing. So he's helped me a lot with my post game, like just making easy, simple moves, like just shooting a jump hook instead of trying to body someone down or muscle someone to preserve your legs, and then just teaching me how to run and seal, just like simple things that you feel like you should or would know at this age, but just teaching me like small nuances of the game.
Yeah, and also because I know you mentioned you wanted to be a legendary, and you're learning from a legend. And his jersey's up in the rafters. What does that mean for you as a Carolina basketball player?
It means a lot, honestly. Coach, he's believed in me. He was one of the lead guys when I was being recruited, so it definitely means a lot. And I feel like he's pushing me every day to be better. And we talk after every practice and we watch film together. So it means a lot to be pushed by a legend because I know he did some legendary things when he was here.
What stands out when you play with this guard group?
I would say shooting, honestly. Like, everybody can shoot, like, up and down the lineup. I feel like, it's going to allow for so much spacing, and I'm going to dunk on somebody. So that's what I like about it.
Time for about two more, Adam, and then one. I'm sure this won't be the last time we have Caleb in here.
Sort of along the lines that Grant was asking you about, Caleb. I mean, you're so mobile for your size, the length, the hops. Like, you're kind of a different kind of big. Is there anyone that maybe Coach May or anybody is showing you from Carolina's past that they think you could emulate, or is there not somebody, at your size? I don't know, like a Tyler Zeller or a Isaiah Hicks, or I don't know. Like, is there anybody like that?
No, they haven't told me anybody like from Carolina's past that they've seen that's kind of like similar to me. We watch film, but it's always just personalized to me. I watch a lot of NBA and professional players play, but I've never really seen anyone like me, really, honestly.
Last one.
Caleb, Michael Coe, WCHL, ChamberRow.com. When Coach Davis was recruiting you to come here, what was his pitch to you, and what was the moment that kind of sealed the deal for you to come here?
Well, he had a pitch, but I knew I was coming here after the Duke game. So that was like 2 years ago. We beat them, and I was like, bro, it don't get no better. And so I knew then that I wanted to beat Duke, and I was in the locker room partying, and then last year we didn't beat them. And so I was like, man, I need to get that done. So that's what made me come here, honestly. When we beat Duke and I saw Franklin Street lit up, and I was able to go out with the team for a second and just kind of get the vibe. I was like, man, I got to come here. I got to win some games.
I got to ask, what's your favorite Lego set that you built?
That's a tough one. Oh, I'm really big into cars. So I built I think it's a Lamborghini Countach. I think that's the name of it. But I built one of those. But I built one other one too. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm just gonna say the Lamborghini Countach because I built that recently, maybe like 2 months ago.
I hate to stop this.
We should.
But we do have Jaydon behind him and then practice.
Thank
So,
you.
Caleb,
Who's some of the pros you watch?
I watch Shea. I watch.
Jaydon is a guy who grew up in North Carolina, is
Sure.
from here and everything. Like, when you got in the portal, was Chapel Hill where you were mentally aiming, or were you excited to have it happen the way it did?
Definitely excited to have it happen how it did. They weren't really on my radar when I first got in the portal. I did it kind of fast just because a lot of people were calling. I didn't really like that. I was ready to get somewhere and start working on my game. So it really didn't all pan out until after I committed to High Point University. Right. The coach ended up leaving, and a few people started calling. So that's where this ended up coming from.
And how did the way you finished last season, you got hot at the end of the year, sort of influence what did you want to do, where you wanted to go for maybe your next stop?
Honestly, I just wanted to go where I felt like I could be the best me possible, make the best opportunity for myself. Honestly, just conversations with my dad, he was really just helping me out through the whole process. So I didn't really have a certain level in mind to that extent. I was just looking for the best place possible, to be honest.
Jaydon, Andrew Jones, Tar Heel 24/7. Going back to what Adam just asked about the way you finished last season, you had a couple of huge games. Was that something that you saw coming? It was just a matter of opportunity and situation, and that was going to happen? Or kind of take us where you went from earlier in the year where those games weren't occurring to when they did?
Yeah, honestly, I just told myself all year, just stay down, it's going to come. Making shots and all that, I've always been type of guy. It just took me a little longer to figure things out. So, yeah, I expected it 100%. And I told the whole staff, all my teammates, that it was going to happen too. But
So it kind of validated how you viewed yourself, and it finally did. So
Definitely.
what's next from there? The guy that that scored 27 or whatever against Miami. What's next for you as a player?
Honestly, just getting better. I knew that I could do that. I hadn't showed it just yet, but when the time came, honestly, I just wanted to do a little more. I was trying to get 30 the next game and 35 the next one, so that was all I was looking for, to be honest.
Last thing, real quickly, did Coach Young draw up more shots for you after that? I think in the ACC tournament looked like they drew up a couple specifically for you.
Yeah, he definitely did. And he also just kind of gave me a little green light. He was just telling me to go ahead and try to do what I could do. So.
Jaydon, Brendan Marks from The Athletic. Obviously, Seth is back. He's really the only guard back, really the only rotation player back from last year. How do you sort of see yourself fitting in with the rest of the perimeter guys that UNC had in this offseason? Like, what can sort of your role be in your eyes?
Honestly, outside of like putting the ball in the basket and stuff like that, I would really just want to bring energy to the game, play as hard as I possibly can, compete on the defensive side of the ball, and then obviously make shots when I get them, but that's not really what I'm pressing for.
Jaydon, Jeremiah Holloway with Inside Carolina. Obviously, you were at VTech. You got to play with Sean Padula, Hunter Couture, some experienced guys. Coming into this year, and obviously it's a lot of new kind of faces. What types of lessons do you kind of take from those guys that you have kind of carried with you in your first couple years of college?
Yeah. So Sean and Hunter definitely taught me a lot coming in my freshman year. Just sitting behind those guys taught me really like the ins and outs of everything. You got to have a strict schedule. You really got to do things the right way. Treat it like you're a pro, honestly. So coming here, just seeing like guys like Caleb or a guy like Isaiah Dennis, just being able to give them little small tips like in practice. When you do get tired, you got to push through it. You can't really show it. So just little things like that I can just kind of feed them during practice and stuff.
Shoulder Swanson with the News Observer. I'm curious, you're coming in here after Caleb. Just what was your first impression of him when you got on campus, and kind of describe that for us?
A freak athlete, somebody that's really going to help us out a lot. But my first impression was he's just a good kid. He doesn't really do much. He doesn't get outside of himself. His personality is the same at all times, so that's what I respect about him. He doesn't try to change himself for anyone.
Any moments, maybe like him cracking a joke in practice or something off the court, anything that stands out?
That's almost every day, so
yeah.
not really any standouts, but he's definitely a guy that cracks jokes a lot.
Jaydon, Rod Baxley, Fayetteville Observer. Your dad played at Mount Olive?
Yes, sir, he did.
How does that help you as a player? What was he telling you going into this process, and how have you kind of taken it now that you've been in it?
Yeah, my whole life, my dad, he's just been right there. He's my trainer, my coach for a long time. So one of the life lessons that he really taught me was just never get too high, never get too low, no matter what's going on. So through high school, through college, I never really let the outside noise or adversity really affect me. Just like I said earlier, I validated myself really, and I just showed everybody what I could do. So I definitely give my dad the credit for that.
What was the conversation like with him when you told him you were coming here?
Honestly, he presented it to me. He got the first call, and man, I think we just sat there and looked at each other for about 2 minutes, and then he just explained everything that was going on. And I said, "But I told you I was going to be a Tar Heel my whole life," so that was pretty much set in stone when we got the first phone call.
Kind of Jacob Turner, Tar Heels 24/7. Kind of building off that a little bit. Like, what are your memories from growing up? Did you like go to basketball games? Did you go to football games? Like, what did you guys do kind of growing up as Carolina?
Starting off, I played basketball and football at the Boys and Girls Club in Goldsboro. We used to take like team trips to come to football games, tour the locker room, stuff like that. And then basketball-wise, we used to come to Late Night with Roy almost every year, unless my grades were bad or something. But Late Night with Roy every year. We used to try to sneak in a couple games, stuff like that. But man, I was a super fan. Like being at school and almost having butterflies when they played Carolina and Duke games, stuff like that. So I can remember all of it, to be honest.
Did you watch games like on TV pretty religiously? Yeah,
every single game.
Yeah.
What's the maddest you've been watching a game?
The maddest I've been? The maddest I've been. That's a good one. I don't know. I got to think about that one. The happiest I've been, I'm going to say when Kobe White was here. Kobe's from Goldsboro, too, so I want to say it was ACC tournament against Duke. He had a pretty solid game, so it was a good one.
Butterflies before Carolina.
I used to get anxious like I was playing.
Now you're gonna be in the locker room. You in the
Yeah.
locker room, run out of the tunnel, do all that. Have you even thought about what that might be like, or you just kind of holding off on those things?
Honestly, none of this has really hit me just yet. I think first game maybe, but I feel like I got a lot more confidence in my game now, so I don't think I'll be too nervous.
I don't know if you mentioned Kobe, but just any other favorite players that you remember growing up watching?
I got a lot of them. Let's start old. I used to like watching. I'm gonna go Harrison Barnes. I like Harrison Barnes a lot. Of course, I'm gonna go Marcus Page. I used to watch a lot of point guards, so I'm gonna go Marcus Page, Joel Berry. Let's see. There's a few more. My dad had me on Ty Lawson heavy. My dad used to love Ty Lawson, so yeah.
You mentioned Marcus Page. What has it been like to get to know him as a coach?
Just getting to pick his brain, see exactly what he thinks about the game, like what little tips he can give me. But a legendary guard, you can learn a lot from him, and then he's right there with us in practice. So any little thing I slip up on, or I'll go right to him and ask him, like, yo, how was I on defense, or what can I do right here to improve? So it's definitely good to have him.
Any specific piece of advice that he's given you that stand out?
I won't say anything specific because I don't really nitpick. I'll go to him about little defensive assignments and stuff like that, but I don't really nitpick just that much.
Given your fandom, what were your emotions when you played Carolina?
My freshman year, we came here, and that was probably the most focused I've ever been in my life. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. But being in a away locker room doesn't really feel the same as being in the home locker room. So honestly, I just wanted to come out, see if I could make a few shots. Obviously, I was behind Hunter Couture and all them, and I didn't really expect the game to go like it did. I played a lot more than I thought, but really just trying to be simple and sound, not mess up while I was out there, to be honest.
Jaydon, no waste off the Tar Heel 24/7. Do you think that when everything starts to hit you, when the season comes and you run out of the tunnel, do you think with your emotions, do you think it'll be challenging at all for you to sort of balance that with also being like, okay, we got a game to play?
No, I don't think so. I think I keep my business on one side, and then the fun comes a little later. But when I get on the court, everything goes away, to be honest with you. There's nothing but competing.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I'll get that.
I was gonna say, who are the main voices on this year's team? Like, you go into practice or you're in the locker room, like, whose voice are you hearing the most?
Of course, Seth. You go with Henry a lot. Those guys are really vocal leaders, but honestly, down the line, I think all of us are pretty good leaders. All of us have a common goal, so I think if anyone speaks up in a huddle, everyone will respect it. So.
Just along those lines, what is your sense, having played a couple of years in college, of maybe the hunger of this group? Because you all have come from different places, obviously, but it sounds like from talking to guys that, you know, this is a competitive group, like the competitiveness stands out, and maybe the hunger to win stands out. I mean, you feel like that's accurate?
Yeah, that's very accurate. I think we all are huge competitors, willing to do anything to win, and I don't think anyone's out for the credit. I don't think anyone's out to get noticed by themselves, if that makes sense. I think it's really a team effort. Everyone's ready to compete. Everyone's willing to win. So whatever it takes, honestly.
Maybe just to follow up, if you don't mind. Maybe how have you sensed that? Like, have there been a moment in a practice or an open gym where you're like, oh, okay, like, you know, these guys want it?
I think every day, honestly, it gets a little chippy, but we go at each other all day, every day, and then off the court, it's like we're all brothers. We all can do anything together. So when it gets on the court and it gets a little chippy, it's like you just brush it right off. Continue competing. Everybody's playing as hard as possible. So yeah, I don't think it.
Jaydon, playing against last season's Carolina team and then playing with and against these guys in practice this year, what differences have you noticed?
We have a lot of guys that can shoot the three ball, stretch the floor. I think we can play with a little more pace. And then defensively, I think we all are dialed in, trying to get stops. That's definitely an emphasis for us. So I think the defensive end is definitely what's going to put us ahead.
A lot of the guys have talked about just the open gyms in the summer and how big that was for you guys coming together and being able to
Yeah.
bond so quickly. What stands out about those, and then in particular maybe for you growing up such a fan, any former players that came back that just kind of blew your mind?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The former players coming back, this really shows like the tradition and the family thing that's really going on here. And I think for the younger guys playing with those guys, it's like hard for us not to buy in because everybody loves it here. Everybody comes back, even people that's like not from North Carolina. So, yeah, it makes a world of a difference just being around those guys and seeing how they talk about it. See, like they're bringing their families back and everything. So, I think that plays a huge part in our like chemistry and things like that.
Couple more. That stood out from that, like maybe a favorite player of yours that you got to kind of see over?
I say when we played the blue-white scrimmage, I think like Cam Johnson was here, Luke May, Garrison Brooks. There was a lot of guys, and then we had a pickup game one day, and RJ and Armando was here. So it's a good feeling being around all those guys, great basketball players, and even better people. So yeah, it's just great just being around them, spending time.
Hey, Jaydon, Grant Sassery of Tar Heels on SI. You played in the blue and white scrimmage. You were able to go out there and play in front of UNC fans. How was that feeling? And then also you had 6 assists. So just, what was it like playing on that court, just playing with the teammates in front of all your fans?
It felt great, honestly. Walking out, warm-ups and stuff like that, I was just looking around, trying to get a feel for everything. But once the ball went in there, it honestly felt like another basketball game. Everyone was cheering for us. Everybody was into it. So that aspect of it was a little different. But at the end of the day, it's all basketball for sure. So really just keeping the main thing. But at the end of the day, seeing everybody out there running out of that tunnel was definitely a great feeling. Surreal for sure.
Jaydon, as a Carolina fan, what was your perception of Coach Davis from afar versus now you're obviously in the gym working with him, talking to him basically every day? Is it the same? Is it different?
I didn't really know a lot about Coach Davis before, so I couldn't really say much. But the guy that he is, now that I've met him, he's definitely a people's person. He likes having a relationship with his guys. And he's a man of his word, so I can respect that about him. But yeah, I love Coach Davis. He likes to sit down and have conversation with us, likes to be around us, so and it's definitely mutual. So I appreciate Coach Davis a lot, to be honest with you.
Thanks, Jaydon. Appreciate it.
Thank y'all.